Donald Trump is clearly feeling the legal walls closing in on him, and we can draw that inference based on just his social media posts from the last 3 or 4 days, right? Donald Trump has gone on social media, completely lost his crap, attacking judges, attacking potential witnesses, and of course, for some reason, attacking President Biden, going as far as to basically threaten him, saying that all the bad things that are happening to Trump, be careful, Biden, because it could happen to you. You know, kind of like a weird reverse Jacob Marley visiting Ebenezer Scrooge to tell him 3 ghosts are coming. But here is what Donald Trump said on Truth Social, letting Biden know that because of this new precedent that has been set, that obviously Republicans are just going to turn around and do the same thing to Biden. Here's what he said over the weekend. Why didn't crooked Joe Biden tell his Injustice Department to file the lawsuits and indictments against me 3 years ago instead of right in the middle of my campaign for president? You're setting a bad precedent for yourself, Joe. The same can happen to you. These third world Biden indictments, which should never have been filed, would have been tried and over with years ago. My sleazebag opponent shouldn't be able to do this during my campaign or before the election. Whew. There's a lot to unpack there in this ranting of a seemingly madman. Let's be crystal clear right off the bat. President Biden had nothing to do with any of these indictments. He had nothing to do with the fraud trial that you're currently sitting through in New York. Like, that's a state thing. Biden has no jurisdiction over any of that, including his hilariously named Injustice Department. Yeah, because it's supposed to be Justice Department, but Trump's like, it's injustice. Wow. I mean, you could write for Jimmy Fallon with jokes like that. But he then, of course, says the same thing could happen to you. The same thing. Yeah. So President Biden, be careful or else Republicans, believe it or not, might launch investigations into you. I mean, could you imagine if Republicans, any Republican really with any kind of power, launched an investigation into President Biden? Hell, what if they launched one into Hunter Biden? What if they got their hands on a laptop that they swear to God has all kinds of crazy crap on it and still aren't able to produce any evidence? Yeah, you see, Donald, the thing you're saying could happen to President Biden is literally happening to President Biden. It has been happening to him for 10 straight months, okay? So threaten all you want, be like, it could happen to you. It is. It's just not going anywhere because Republicans have come up with absolute bupkis during their 10 months of investigations into President Biden. And also to address your I guess, complaint that it took so long, he couldn't have brought these 3 years ago because technically 3 years ago you were president. So that would have been really, really difficult for President Biden to charge you with something when he didn't have any power. So, 3 years ago, Bill Barr, your handpicked guy to keep you out of trouble, was the Attorney General. So that's actually why you weren't charged 3 years ago. And beyond that, you had to conduct investigations. Like once Biden became president and his people were, put at the Department of Justice, they waited and waited to launch an investigation. But that doesn't mean that after day one of the investigation, they're ready to come out with indictments. They did everything proper. As soon as you announced you were running for president, they handed the investigation over from the political appointees to a special prosecutor. The special prosecutor did his due diligence, did his interviews and his depositions with his grand jury, and then he brought the indictments. It's a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight. So that's why it didn't happen within the last 2.5 years. And if you go back any further than that, it's probably because he wasn't president and you were. So, Donald, I hope that clears up literally everything you said in your obnoxious, unhinged rant, because nothing that you said made any sense. And the second you start poking holes in it, it's pretty obvious to everybody that what's really happening is that you're terrified about what your future might hold. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.